Hello, and welcome back to the best part of your week. Welcome back to Love, Death, and Movies podcast, Internet's number one film breakdown and review podcast. Podcast that crushes watch lists week after week. Every 2 months is a different genre. Every week within that 2 months is a different film in that genre. So follow us on everything, join along for the ride, and let's watch some movies. I'm one of your hosts, Ash, and with me each and every week is Harry. And we are bulk recording, so I'm not going to ask you how your week was, but I'll ask you, how was your day, actually? How about that?
It was good. Yeah. Woke up really early, watched Avatar, came here, started recording. so
What a
far, so,
day.
so far so good. How's your day?
That's good. Yeah, we slept in a little bit, went to Costco, which is kind of like our Sunday ritual. Usually we wander around Costco and find things we don't need and also get some groceries we do need. And yeah, just kind of been chilling. I think I talked to a friend earlier for a couple hours on FaceTime, and then now I'm here. Oh, and Adam made me watch There's Something About Mary because I've never seen it
Good
before.
movie. Oh, good movie. What'd you
I can't
think?
believe I'd never seen it. I was like shocked because I've seen Dumb and Dumber a bunch. And I'm pretty familiar with the Fairley Brothers, but yeah, that was just one of my like blind spots. I mean, it was so dumb, but it was really quotable and had some enjoyable moments. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed that. And yeah, had some delicious meatloaf. And now I'm here with you talking about
Love a
movies.
meatloaf.
So yeah, we're continuing on with our bite-sized bangers. And this week was a special one. We're discussing a movie for the second time today that you had never seen before, which this is not very common on this pod. Usually I'm the one that hasn't seen it. So I love when you get to be the one to go in not knowing what you're getting yourself into. 1986's Stand By Me. It's kind of wild that you've never seen this, especially being
I
a
know.
guy. I feel like it's like the quintessential
It was a
guy
huge
growing
point of
up
my,
movie.
it was a huge hole in my watch list for sure.
Yeah, I'd only seen it once as a kid because I watched Now and Then like a shit ton growing up, which is like the female version of Stand By Me. And I think because I had loved that, I watched Stand By Me like a little bit after I had been introduced to that just to kind of see what it was like. And I honestly had forgotten a lot of what happened. So I was really actually happy rewatching this. As an adult, especially, I feel like there's just certain things you can't pick up on when you're young. So yeah, really, really great rewatch for me. But I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. But just to kind of give a little bit of background on the film. So, this was directed by one of the greats, Rob Reiner, who
Rest in peace.
obviously tragically passed away recently with his wife, Michelle. So, I'm actually kind of glad that we're doing this now, like honoring him and just the great work that he did during this stretch of his career. So, rest in peace to them both. I'm honestly still like in shock a little bit. Like, he's one of my favorite directors, and I just
Yeah,
can't
that
imagine
that
my
was
life without his
truly a
movies.
shocking day, which
Yeah,
obviously because like if you know the details, like it wasn't
yeah,
expected.
it's
Um,
awful.
yeah, horrific. Very, very horrific.
So yes, we honor Rob with this amazing film. Obviously, like so many of his movies are like 5-star films for me. Like this is Spinal Tap and The Princess Bride are two of my favorite movies of
Yeah,
all
Princess
time.
Bride's my one. And Misery.
Misery's fantastic. A Few Good Men, fantastic. He just had like a 6-year run where he just, I mean, these are like quintessential. Oh, and When Harry Met Sally,
Oh yeah.
obviously, quintessential. I think Adam and I were kind of talking about it, trying to like, how do you define his films? And it's like he took concepts that had already been done, but he modernized everything. Like when you think of like the modern day romance, When Harry Met Sally, fantasy, Princess Bride, comedy, mockumentary, This is Spinal Tap, like reinvented and like made mockumentary what it is. A Few Good
Yeah.
Men, courtroom drama, like these are all things you think of when you think about these
Was
genres.
he a few good men?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So it's like he really redefined all these like modern kind of 80s and 90s like genres that we all know, and these are all films that we'll think about for a long, long time. So, anyways,
You're very
that's
right. Wow.
that's my spiel on Rob Reiner. But yeah, he will be missed, and really glad that we're able to do one of his films this month. So
He's just a type of. He's a director that, like, at the same time, like, if. I don't know, maybe if you walk past him in the street, you might not know him, but he. People know him from a lot of different aspects. Like, we know him majority because of the director. Like,
yep.
when he passed, like. My girlfriend sent me the article to let me know he passed before I even knew, and she's just like the dad out of Wolf of Wall Street. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean one of the
I was
most
like, that's incredible
iconic.
that you know it from you know him from there because like, he's like one of the greatest directors of all time for me. Like,
Yes. People
yeah,
don't
so
know though. They do know
yeah,
him as like an actor, and he's hilarious in that role. Like TNA, like that whole bit. I mean, I think that is one
yeah,
of the most hilarious parts of the whole movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then my
just
mum knows him because he's out of the bear. He's like
Well, he's
the
also from that TV show Happy Days. Like he's like
yeah,
one of the main
like
characters. He had a whole acting career before he was a director.
but like my main point is like even like little parts, he always made a huge impact, and
Yes,
that's what I thought was really
absolutely.
cool.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I'm so glad we can honor his memory talking about this one. I think that this is one of his, great quintessential films. Obviously, he didn't write it, but he directed it, and I think if you saw any interviews after like his passing, the news came out. I mean, I saw Jerry O'Connell, Will Wheaton, like these guys talking about how Rob Reiner changed their life, how he believed in them, how he took them to lunch and really treated them like kids, but
Like
also like
equals.
grown-ups,
Yeah,
like he really believed in these actors. And even Kathy Bates said she wouldn't have the career she has now without him.
agreed.
So just he really took a chance on people, and I think he also was an activist. I mean, he just did so many great things. So yeah, anyways, he will be forever missed, and I'm really glad that we're talking about this at this time.
Yeah.
So, Stand By Me is based on a 1982 novella by Stephen King called The Body. I have not read it, but I've heard good things. It's set in a fictional town of Castle Rock, Oregon in 1959. Film was released in August of 1986 by Columbia Pictures and was nominated for many awards, including Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay and 2 Golden Globes for Best Picture and Drama and Best Director. One last thing I will say about Rob Reiner that's also insane. This movie is set in the fictional town of Castle Rock, Oregon. Have you heard of Castle Rock Entertainment? Because he co-founded it after this movie
Rob
came out.
Reiner.
Yes, he co-founded it in
Wow.
1987 after this movie came out, and it's named
That's
Castle
awesome.
Rock Entertainment.
That's awesome. Yeah, because Castle Rock's a big town in Stephen King universe.
Yeah,
Same
but
with
it's a
like Derry.
fictional town. It's just
Yeah,
funny
it's
that
like
it's
Derry.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's like yeah. Which is
I
yeah,
love
it's
it.
just hilarious. Good on him.
Yeah, has an incredible cast, including Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. Also has even more people than that, but those are kind of the main four boys. Film goes as follows. It's a really simple premise. Four boys set out on a journey to find the dead body of a missing local boy from their town. So now that you've watched it, this is like a coming of age necessity, especially for guys, I feel like. So, what are your thoughts? Obviously, keep it brief because we're going to get into all the details, but I'd love to just know what you thought on first watch.
Yeah, I loved it. It's great. It's like everything that I thought it was going to be, but it's what really took me back is like how much it's referenced and created other stories. Like my main thing is like that I put on
Stranger Things.
yeah, it's just like it's as if Duffer Brothers watched this. Is like, oh, we just need some demigorgons, and we've got the Stranger Things here. Like,
Yep.
there's it just shows how influential this film is, and like the more you watch it, you're like, oh, I can kind of see an X film is like referencing this, or I kind of see a YTV show is referencing that. I think it's just really important. I also just like the core four of the boys are like just extraordinary. Like I thought, like really brilliant child actors, which makes sense because they were all fantastic. Massive rest in peace to River. Like River Phoenix was even just watching him at this age. I think he was 16 when he acted in this.
He's incredible.
You could just see that he had so much talent, and
Yeah, it's
it's
really,
just such
really
a
sad what
waste and
happened
a
to him.
shame. Yeah, waste and a shame of what happened. But no, I loved this. I thought this was a lot of fun to watch. Good watch.
Good.
Now it's filled.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love this movie. Like I said, I'd only seen it one other time, so it's not like I have this like deep bag with it or, it's like a favorite of all time or anything. I feel like rewatching it, especially being older, I just appreciated it even more. And I definitely feel like it is like the boy version of Now and Then. Like it's that quintessential growing up summertime friendship movie, but it's like based upon like a trauma or multiple traumas or like some big tragedy or just like something going on in their lives that really teaches them or like they learn from. And it's more than just boys being boys. There's more to
Yeah.
it. There's an actual like emotional undertone. And I think especially the friendship of Gordy and Chris to me is like all time young boy friendship. Like you don't get to
Yeah.
see that many friendships in movies of like, 14-year-old boys crying to one another, hugging on one another, or really helping each other through life. I think that that's really rare. And I think that it's really important to showcase. And I'm not surprised that somebody like Rob Reiner wanted to bring that to screen. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I just think it's such a special movie, and I think that everyone needs to watch it. This is like one of those movies to me. I feel like is like watch once before you die kind of film.
But there's just so many stars in this. Like that you don't even realize. Like even just like the Will Wheaton's Will Wheaton's brother is John Cusack. You
And
just
then there's
keep
Kiefer Sutherland as the
Keith
bully. Yeah,
Sutherland, who's like also Keith Sutherland's awesome. Like he
he's great in A
fucking
Few Good
rocks.
Men as well. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's great in like not Rob Reiner film, but The Lost Boys.
yeah, love him in that as well.
dude. I just love Keith Sutherland. I feel like me and him
He's
would get
really
along
good.
great. You know, the type of guy where you're like, I feel like I could get like 17 beers with you, 100%. Is Keith Sutherland on that
Okay.
list? Let's start a list like that. We've got the smoke show list. Let's start
Who you want to get a
the
beer with? Yeah,
yeah. We'll get a good name for it or something like that.
I love it. Yeah, no, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, okay, let's get into it. So we open to 1985 with writer Gordy LaChance reading a newspaper article about the death, Gordy, yeah, of attorney Chris Chambers as he reflects on the first time he saw a dead body in the summer of 1959 in his hometown of Castle Rock on Labor Day weekend when he was 12. Gordy joins his best friend Chris and their buddy Teddy in their treehouse. The boys smoke and play cards before being joined by their fourth buddy, Vern. Didn't even recognize Jerry O'Connell. Never knew that was him, by the way.
Yeah, no, did I? Neither did I. And then like I was like looking at the actors, it's like that's fucking Jerry O'Connell. And then once you realize it, you can see it. Obviously,
You can't unsee it, yeah, once you know.
Yeah.
Vern tells the boys while under the house searching for buried pennies, he overheard his older brother Billy and his friend Charlie talking about how the dead body of the missing boy Ray Brower is outside the town along the train tracks. His older brother did not tell the police because they were doing some illegal car theft at the time. Classic. The boys decide they should look for the body so they can be heroes and be on the news for finding the body. They make a plan and head home to gather their things for their adventure. I really love how this movie really starts out as like a pure adventure movie, but the entire adventure, the whole thing is kind of like Gordy needing to see it to really like I just love that like the adventure is nothing like what they thought it was going to be as far as like why it was important, but you have no clue like how emotional it's going to get when it starts.
Also,
I feel
how
like you
long
just
were they
like
gone? Like it was like days,
they
wasn't it?
left on like Friday afternoon and or evening or no, well, I think they left Saturday morning and they got home Sunday evening.
Okay, so it was just a
So
day.
one night,
Okay,
one
that's
full
fine.
day and a half the next day.
That's fine. That's fine.
Why? You didn't think it was believable that they could get
Well,
there and back?
like it just like the everything that happened. I was just like, seems like they've been gone like a week. like,
No.
but no.
I get what you're
That's
saying,
not.
but
That's not like a bad thing or anything like that. I was just like,
no, yeah.
it's like these like you just can't do that nowadays. Like,
No. Definitely
you know,
not.
a full
Definitely,
search.
yeah, it's the 50s. I mean, even I feel like when I was growing up, it was common for like boys especially to be gone and their parents wouldn't see them for 3 or 4 days. Like
Yeah.
pre-internet world, I just feel like that's so normal.
Yeah, for sure.
So we learn that Gordy has been completely invisible at home, as his older brother and star child Dennis had died 4 months earlier in a jeeping accident. One thing I thought was really interesting, I feel like as a kid, time feels very different. Like to him, I think it felt like his parents had been like not moving past this for a long time. But 4 months of losing your child that's no time at all.
Not at all.
Like so, I feel like it's interesting to have like an adult perspective now.
It was that good scene where like she's hanging out the washing and he's doing the gardening. You could just tell there's like no emotion.
Yep. Yeah.
That was good.
It's very, a lot of showing, not telling with some of the scenes here, which I know we both love.
We love a show, not tell. We love it.
We love it. Gordy goes into his brother's room to find his water canister for the adventure and starts having memories of his brother. I love the way they portray these flashback scenes, played by John Cusack, like you said, who's so young in this, giving him a Yankees cap. It's clear that Gordy's father treats him poorly and wishes he was more like his brother. He tells him that to his face.
So
It's
fucked
just
up.
awful. So Gordy meets up with Chris, who has stolen his father's pistol for their journey, and they run into the town bully, Ace, and Chris's older brother, nicknamed Eyeball. Ace steals Gordy's hat that was gifted to him from his brother and threatens Chris with a lit cigarette. He's just a real gem all around.
I just love Stephen King. He like the way he names characters is just so
It's
awesome.
so funny. The boys begin to walk on the train tracks and realize they didn't bring any food. This was the most classic boys will be
Yeah, it's
boys
very
scene I think
boys.
I've ever seen. Like if there
Where they
was
just-
girls there, there'd be so many snacks.
Oh yeah, but then the boys are just all hunkered together on a train track, being like, "How many cents do you got?" like we can go. Yeah, I love
They
that.
scrounged together $2.37
So
and
good.
planned to stop later that day for food. That's wild that you can spend $2.37 and get anything for four people. That could not happen
Yeah.
today, obviously. Teddy stupidly wants to stay on the track as a train is coming to see if he can dodge it. But Chris intervenes and grabs him. They fight. Chris gets pissed, telling him he could have killed himself, but Teddy insists he could have dodged it. I think one thing for me that I noticed with Teddy is because of what happened to his dad and his dad's like history, like in the army, he's really, really testing like fate here. Like he really wants to test his boundaries with things. I think he like almost is like seeing what he can do with like these near death experiences based on what's happened to his dad. That's kind of what I gathered through like many of the moments where he's always like fighting with, be like with the junkyard owner, or just like, yeah, trying to like see if he can dodge a train. Like he kind of seems to have this like obsession with almost like wanting to have this like near death experience. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
I was
picked up
thinking
on
the
that,
same
but
thing. I was thinking the exact same thing.
yeah, but just kind of like one of those, like you can just tell they each have their thing. Like each boy kind of has their own journey to go on through all of this. They have about 20 to 30 miles to walk, but their first stop is a junkyard for water, which requires them to trespass by climbing a fence before the owner shows up and the junkyard opens. They goof off and drink water before they flip a coin to see who has to get the food for later. Gordy loses and heads into the nearby mart for bottles of Coke and hamburger meat, which is so crazy.
What's
You could buy
the
hamburger
dog's
meat, hamburger
name?
buns. The dog,
Chomper?
it is Chopper. Yeah,
Chopper, and it's just like a golden retriever.
yeah, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of the sweetest dogs ever.
I love that because it like that really shows like I don't know, at least for because I grew up with all the boys, of course, where like it's like urban myths around like random things, and it's like that's it. It's just like this dog, and I was like,
Junkyard dog.
yeah, that
Yeah,
really reminded me of that. I thought it was really well done.
I feel like you would think like a junkyard dog would be like a Rottweiler or something, a little bit more
Yeah,
like
that's what I was thinking. It was going
scary.
to be a Rottweiler. Yeah, like Cujo.
Yeah. The owner of the store talks to Gordy about his brother and tells him that he looks like him and makes him feel small about the fact that he doesn't play football like his brother. I like the moment when he's like, "Do you play football? No. Well, what do you do then?" Like just making him seem like that's like the only thing that you have is like to play football.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of adds to like obviously the feelings he's already been experiencing from his dad. So I'll stop here. Anything to add? What do you think about the dynamic of the boys?
Yeah, great. Like every boy is very, very different, which I think is really cool. Like you got River Phoenix, who wait, let me pull up the film on my computer here so I can reference the names correctly. You
Chris.
like yeah, like he's like obviously the macho, the jock, like in the way that like the super confident one that will always stick up for everyone. Then you got Gordy, who's obviously kind of like the brains, or like the like kind of like the sensitive one that's like obviously gone through a lot in the
Also
last
creative too.
very, yeah. You've got the Jerry O'Connell, who is named Vern. Yeah, who's like that, like kind of like the butt of the joke of
He's
what,
the one you
like,
make fun of, yeah.
yeah, for sure. Which every group has that. And then you got the fucking psychopath. That is what's his name? Corey Feldman, Teddy, who's like obviously really fucked up, wired up top.
He's got the mental health issues, and his dad's obviously got like PTSD severely and
For sure.
hurts him, and yeah.
But they all feel real, which I think is really good. So I think they all feel like they would be friends, and they're all real.
Yeah, and what I like too is that even though Chris is like, confident and like stands up and like obviously a little bit like bigger and like maybe tougher physically, no one in that group is like a popular kid or like
No.
he's not like a jock in the sense of like some star, not like Gordy's brother who's like the star child and like football. Like Chris has a bad home life and like he gets in trouble like but he's just in the group, he's like the tough big brother type. But they feel like a bunch of outcasts is my point. They're not like these aren't kids who were like cool in school or like easily make friends and things like that, which is so common in Stephen King stories. Obviously you think about like something like It or whatever, but I like that. I think it's easier to like want to root for characters like that than somebody who might be like, I don't know, more of like that traditional like really likable like jock type character. So I like the way that Chris's character was written.
Same.
All right,
Rest
well
in
Gordy gets
peace,
back
River.
from the store. Huh?
Said rest in peace, River.
I know. Yeah, gosh, I just for a second on that, yeah, it's a shame because he was like 23, I think, when he passed
so.
away. And just looking at how like successful Joaquin Phoenix is, I just feel like he would have been at that level. Like I feel like we'd be seeing River Phoenix in so many like leading roles in so many movies.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's just incredible. He's so talented, and it's just really sad to think that that was cut so short. But yeah,
Yeah.
rough go there. But yeah, rest in peace. Definitely glad we got him and, the few big projects that we did. But it's
Yeah,
kind
good
of
way to put
crazy
it.
to watch him be so young and be such a powerhouse.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so yeah, Gordy gets back from the store and the boys aren't where he left them. The owner of the junkyard, Milo, sees him and Gordy notices that his friends are about to hop the fence to get away. So he runs to join them over the fence before the junkyard dog Chopper gets him, the scary dog. Milo taunts Teddy about his mentally ill war veteran father, calling him a loony. Oh, so brutal. Like, why are you fighting with children? Like, just move
Yeah.
past it, dude.
So
Teddy
fucking
attempts
weird.
yeah, it is, to fight back and is extremely set off, but the boys restrain him, and they continue on their way. They try to comfort Teddy, but he doesn't want to talk about it anymore, saying he's sorry he ruined the party. But Gordy reminds them, we're going to see a dead kid. Maybe it shouldn't be a party. I really think this line is important. I feel like it's like kind of the turning point where it's kind of like, yeah, this is an adventure, but like we're literally going to see a dead kid. This is
Yeah.
not like a fun
We shouldn't be
thing.
celebrating right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a really like underrated
Well,
line.
that's like the whole
Um,
like metaphor for this film, right? Is like them becoming kind of adults, growing up.
growing up, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The boys keep walking on the tracks while Gordy talks to Chris, asking him if he's weird. Chris tells him yes, but who cares? Everyone is weird. Amen. Chris tries to encourage him to fulfill his potential as a writer and reminds him he's smarter than the rest of them. That if he hangs with them, he'll be another wise guy with shit for brains. Tells him to forget what his father thinks. Like he's just such a good friend. Like the
He is.
fact that he's got this like troubled life and like is thinks that he's not going anywhere and he takes the time to like really encourage Gordy and really make him feel seen and like acknowledge his talent and like how good he is and that he should move on from this group and like be better and like do better things in high school and or I guess it's technically like junior high or whatever that they're going to, but I just really love that conversation. I think he's a really really good friend.
Yeah, for sure.
The boys then come across tracks that require them to cross a trestle bridge over the water. That's like those wooden kind of, tracks that go over that
Oh, yeah.
large body of water.
Things that just
They,
don't exist today.
I know, right? They end up having to speed up due to a train coming, though. This scene's actually pretty scary. So Chris and Teddy are kind of ahead, but Gordy and Vern barely make it off. Before getting hit by the train, Gordy sort of saves Vern by jumping on him and kind of jumping off to the side just in the nick of time. Later that night, the boys make a fire and sit around cooking their hamburgers. They're cooking them like marshmallows, like they just have them like on a stick, just cooking their burgers, which I think is
So
really
good.
funny.
Such a guy thing to do.
It
Oh, we
really
got
is.
beef, we're good.
We got beef and we got buns and we got cokes and we're good.
Yeah.
They ask Gordy to tell them a story because obviously he's a writer. He writes stories. He tells them the story of fictional character David Lardass Hogan, who is an obese boy who is constantly bullied. When he finally seeks revenge and decides to enter a pie eating contest where he drinks castor oil and eats a raw egg beforehand so that he can cause a mass vomiting spree across the contestants' audience. Gordy calls the event Barf-O-Rama. I think it's really fun how they like go between like him telling the story and actually like showing what's
Oh, it's
happening.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
really good. The boys love the story, and obviously you have like Teddy doesn't like the ending, and then like there's all this like dialogue around it, and Vern asking questions. I just think that it shows those little moments of like their friendship and kind of their personalities, and I think it's really great. But they continue talking into the wee hours of the night, but are later awoken by loud howling noises, so they decide to take shifts, having someone keep lookout with the gun. Imagining 12-year-old boys with a pistol is like terrifying to
Fucked.
me. Crazy.
Yeah, so classic.
Yeah, so classic. Gordy wakes up from a bad dream at his brother's funeral where his dad tells him it should have been him. Oh. So
Yeah.
he joins Chris, who is currently the lookout. Chris expresses to Gordy that he hates being associated with his name and that he'll always be a low-life Chambers. No one will ever believe in him or just believe him in general. Says he wishes he could go somewhere where nobody knows him. This is another like really emotional moment. This time, kind of Chris opening up to Gordy and him kind of comforting him. He even admits that he did steal milk money from school, which was kind of an earlier topic brought up. But he confessed and tried to return the money to the teacher. But he was still suspended, and the teacher pocketed the money to buy a new skirt, which is just awful. Chris breaks down and cries to Gordy, who comforts him. So I'll stop here again. Anything to add? Any favorite moments here?
No, I love this because Gordy's grief like gives the whole movie kind of like its soul. I found that like River's incredible. Will Wheaton, I think Will Wheaton's the like shows off the biggest prowess in this entire
He's
film.
the heart of the film.
Yeah, yeah, because like this is what makes this movie so good. Is both parts Stephen King and Rob Reiner, is that you could just write this character and he's just a sad character. When it's like this character, he's not sad, he's invisible. To like his family and everything. So he's ignored by his family. He's living in the shadow of his dead brother, of course, and he's unsure whether his voice matters at all. Which I think is it's way more heartbreaking than just losing a brother, I think. But
Absolutely.
yeah, like even like towards the end, sorry to skip ahead, like after they see the body and he just sits down and he's just like, why doesn't he like me? He says that something like that about his dad.
He doesn't know you.
Yeah, he doesn't know you, which is such a great response, by the way. It's like very mature, great response. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing I think of Gordy for sure. That like that
Absolutely.
whole aspect of grief is just portrayed really, really well.
I agree. I think it's a very mature way, like you said, but I also think that's what I love about friendship movies sometimes, like especially when they're done really well, is that it goes to show you that like it's and even Stranger Things builds upon this heavily. Obviously, it takes a lot of inspiration from like '80s movies, but like it's not just your parents or just your family who knows you the best. Like a lot of times, like it is sometimes these childhood friendships that really allow you to like evolve into who you are. And like Gordy wouldn't be who he is in the future without Chris. It's not because of his dad or his mom. So it's just like it kind of I love when movies highlight that. You know, you hear a lot of people talk about like, oh, like blood is everything and like family, but like a lot of times like it's not your family who really knows you. Like it's friends and people who may
Yeah.
not be in your life forever, but they can make a huge impact. So I think this movie really showcases that well, and that's part of like the messaging, obviously. So just kind of building upon what you said, I think that it's done and shown really, really well through the
Agreed.
dialogue and through their relationship. Can you just keep talking for 1 second? I just need to plug in my laptop so it doesn't die.
No, you're good.
It'll take me one quick minute.
River Phoenix, he's always talked about with this film, especially like obviously because like this is like his most prominent role, and now he's passed away. But like his performance is like an all-time great in this film. I still think Will Wheaton's the best, but as with Will Wheaton, he's not just like a cliche grief kid. River Phoenix isn't like that cliche tough kid. Like he plays him defensive, but he also plays him like a very ashamed sort of kid, which I think is really, really cool. He's deeply intelligent, which I thought was
Yes.
like very, very well done. And he's terrified that the world has like already decided who he is, and like what his future
so
should
sad.
be. Yeah, which is like again really mature things to say, but that's what sets Stand By Me apart from other films that try to be
Absolutely.
this because they're not one-dimensional characters.
Absolutely. Beautifully said.
Thank
Thank you. Yes, my computer is now charging. We're good. Yes, I agree with everything that Harry has said. But continuing on, the boys keep walking the next day, continuing on to the Royal River in the hot summer sun. They vote to cross a large swampy field to save some time, even though Vern tries to get them to stay on the tracks. So while all this is going on, Billy and Charlie, who are friends with Ace and Eyeball, finally admit that they know where the body of the dead kid is. And Ace takes it upon himself to tell the whole gang and make up a fake fishing trip to go there and find it so that they can take credit. And there's also a reward on the line, so they want to obviously get that as well. And they're also looking out for themselves too because of the kind of sketchiness of what they were doing while they found the body.
Yeah.
So the boys continue through the swampy woods and mud, coming across water, which they assume is shallow all the way through, but ends up becoming very deep quickly. I love that scene where they're like, "Oh, it's shallow. Walk, walk, sink." It's like it takes like 2 steps before they just completely
Again, such a
submerged.
guy thing to be like, yeah, we're okay with
Absolutely.
mud. Yeah.
Absolutely. But ends up becoming very deep quickly. And after goofing off for a minute, they swim across and realize they are covered in leeches. I love when Corey Feldman's just like, I'm in the prime of my life. You know, he's just like having a blast. Such a great little line. And then we also skipped out on the great like line that's even on the cover. I think about if I could have one food for the rest of my life, cherry Pez all the way, no questions. Like, who would want cherry Pez
Such a
as their only?
fucking random thing.
Such a 12-year-old kid thing to say. Um, but yeah, such a great, like, memorable line. But yeah, this scene, I even remember watching it with Adam. He was like, that couldn't happen, right? And I'm like, let me tell you. I remember one time as a kid going with a bunch of people to like a waterfall, like on a camping trip, and going in the water and getting out and having my legs be covered in leeches. I'm not even kidding.
Ugh,
It's a real thing. I've never seen them that big,
that shit's fucked though.
but it happens and it's gross and it leaves little blood marks. They bite you, and it's really scary. So this scene's actually like pretty traumatizing for me. But
Ugh.
they strip their clothes after removing the leeches. They all have them everywhere, and Gordy realizes he has one on his genitals. Oh, it's so sad. And after removing it and seeing blood, he faints. They get kind of freaked out for a minute, but he wakes up. And hears the boys fighting about going home versus continuing on. But he yells and tells them that he is not going back now,
Yep.
which I understand completely. At this point, this journey is about more than finding the dead body for him at this point, so he needs to see it through.
Exactly.
They reach the back of Harlow Road, which is kind of where they are supposedly supposed to find the body. They search for the dead body there, and Vern spots it. They go down to look, finally locating Ray Brower's body with broken limbs and shoes flown off. Essentially, seems like the train basically hit him and he flew off to the side, which is just god awful.
Yeah.
Gordy is now traumatized by the discovery and looks at Chris asking, why did Denny have to die? It should have been me. Scene is just like so heart wrenching. Kind of like you were saying too about his dad and like why he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Gordy cries to Chris about how his father hates him and Chris assures him it's just because he doesn't know him. And Gordy cries in Chris's arms. I think this is actually like a really well acted like child actor scene as well. Like it's very believable.
This whole film. It's
Yeah, the
so
whole
well
film
done.
as well.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, especially the emotional scenes, sometimes when it's a whole like kid cast, sometimes crying or emotional scenes can come off a little bit like forced or not be super authentic. And
Yeah.
I think this one is done really, really well.
Agreed.
Just then, Ace and Eyeball show up to claim credit for finding the body, and they say they're going to take it with them. Ace threatens the boys that he will hurt them if they don't leave, even pulling a knife on Chris. But Gordy, oh, Gordy, he's just the best, shoots the pistol into the air, scaring them. And then he points the gun at Ace, who thinks he's bluffing, but he preps the gun for shooting and tells him he will kill him. Suck my fat one. I thought that was hilarious because I just got done watching Stranger Things, obviously not that long ago, and
Yeah.
dipshit Derek literally says "suck my fat one," like the
Do you- It
exact same
has to
line.
be a reference though.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be, but I did not remember that line on like my first watch, obviously. So I was like laughing because I literally had just watched Volume 1 again, like maybe 5 days before this. And I was
Yeah.
like, wait, I just heard that. What's going on? But
That's
yeah,
gold.
such a great scene. The entire thing from him shooting the gun to telling him to suck his fat one to just them leaving. And Chris is like, who told you you have a fat one or something like that. It's really funny. Yeah, love that whole scene. Ace vows revenge on the boys before leaving with his gang. Gordy tells the boys they should not take the body or take credit for it. So they decide
That's a big
on an
thing. Don't
anonymous.
take credit for
yeah,
it.
absolutely. Take anonymous phone call, or sorry, decide on an anonymous phone call so the body can finally be found and put to rest. One of the more mature things that I think I can ever imagine a 12-year-old deciding to do. Because again, this journey, and him saying that, but it wasn't about. Really, at the end of the day, he learned that it's nothing to do with getting the credit or being on TV. Like he needed to see that, and he needed to go on this journey for himself and for his own grief, like you said.
They all did.
They all
had
did, yeah,
something.
definitely. I think Chris and Gordy, like I feel like we see the outcome of what they learned a bit more than the other two, but I still think you're right. I think it's definitely for all of them in different ways.
Yeah.
The boys head home and barely speak along the way. They make it home Sunday evening, just ahead of Labor Day. Now back in 1985, adult Gordy is finishing his memoir about that weekend and notes that they drifted away from Vern and Teddy as they went into junior high. But that Chris ended up taking college courses with him and going off to college to get a law degree and became a lawyer, beating the odds against him.
Awesome.
Yeah. Gordy eventually lost touch with Chris as he went to law school. And then recently, while attempting to break up a knife fight, he was stabbed to death because doing like he always does, he was sticking up for people, trying to do the right thing, and it got him killed. I love how this movie tells the story of his death, how it's like you're in the future, but then as he's telling it, you see them back to saying goodbye to one another, and you just see Chris like disappear on the screen, like as he is as the young Chris. I think it's a really beautiful way to tell that story, and I think especially now that River Phoenix is gone, that scene is just gonna forever like live in people's memories. Just like it's just very powerful. So yeah, Gordy finishes up writing his memoir, noting that even though he had not seen Chris in 10 years, he will miss him forever. It ends the story saying, "I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12." Jesus, does anyone?
Does anyone?
I mean, I'll be honest, I had really horrible friends in middle school, so I've definitely had better friends than when I was 12, but I get what they're saying. I totally understand like the message there, and I think it is definitely very true for a lot of people. He goes outside after that to play with his sons and, enjoy his life as an adult and a father, and a much better father than his dad was. This is Stand By Me. So, any final thoughts, score, anything you want to add?
So I wrote my final opinion of this film is they don't get fame, they don't get reward money, adults take over, but that's the point. What they gain instead is Gordy finds his voice, Chris finds belief, Teddy finds momentary freedom, Vern finds connection, then they lose each other because growing up means you don't always get to keep what saves you. And I think that's what this entire film
Harry.
is. Thank you. I think that's what this entire film is, that it's just like it's not just point A to point B. It's point A to point B means you can go to point C, point D, and everything has a meaning by then.
Yep.
Just finding an answer. That's all it is. Fucking love this movie. 4.5 out of 5. It's great.
Yeah, I'm so glad we finally did this because you really needed to watch this.
I did.
No, I think that's beautiful. I could never write anything as beautiful as that, but I absolutely agree. It's also 4.5 for me. It could be 5 one day, I'm sure. I just love these kind of movies. I mean, I love adventure movies and like walk and talk movies as it is, but this one I feel like has so much nostalgia and so much like raw friendship, emotion, and connection. But yeah, I think it's really special because, like you said, I think that there's people in your life that you need to get you to the next step. And even like when I'm joking about like, not having a good friends, I think about like my middle school experience. And like, if I didn't have the experience I had with people or like bullying or whatever it is, I wouldn't be who I am today because I wouldn't have gotten to like from point A to point B, which then got me to C, D, whatever, like you said. So it's like a very quintessential time in your life. And I think that this movie is just one of the more profound ones to showcase what that can look like and what those like childhood friendships can do for your life. And how it can stick with you even, 20 years later. So yeah, it's just really special. And I think a lot of films have pulled from it and a lot of shows have pulled from it. And it's very inspirational. And yeah, I really wish Will Wheaton would have done more because I think he's very talented and he's incredible in this movie.
Second best thing he ever did was being the audiobook reader for Ready Player One.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really funny.
He did the audio reading for it.
Well, the third best thing he ever did was almost win Celebrity Jeopardy the other year, and he's really fucking smart. I'll just say that.
There you go, Will.
And he was also Winona Ryder's first crush. So
really,
just throwing that
that's
out
cool.
there.
That is cool.
Anyways, okay. Well, that's what we think of Stand By Me. Let us know what you think in the comments, and also let us know your favorite Rob Reiner movie. I just would love to know. But until then, next time we're going to do a quick draft of friendship movies because, of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we? Let's just do 5 just to keep it simple.
Easy peasy.
You go ahead and go first.
Ooh, there's so many that you could go first with. I'm going to go Superbad.
Oh, that's a fun one. I actually didn't even put that on my little list here, but I love that.
You like that one? That's like a modern version of the teen friendship.
Absolutely. Superbad.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Fellowship of the Ring.
Well done.
Best friendship
I'll take it.
ever
I'll take it. Yeah, yep, I'll allow that. Well done. Love that. I'm going to take a one. I don't think I've ever drafted this movie, but I love this movie. Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Ah, I had that on my list too.
Love it.
That's another one where it's like he probably won't be friends with those people for life, but they saved him for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
great movie.
So good. I cry every single
I
time.
might read that book. I'm gonna look up how much that
Yeah, I've
book's.
never read the book either.
No.
Be interesting to read it after, like knowing what the movie is. Um, One that I'd just be remiss if I didn't take. It's just kind of like it's my childhood, and it's the friendship movie that I think of when I think of my childhood, and that's The Goonies. I
Fuck
just
you,
feel like
dude.
sorry, that's
Nah,
just
that's
that's
fair.
the one.
I should be proud of you. I should be proud.
Yeah, be proud.
Would you say Almost Famous is a friendship film?
I mean, I think you could argue that. I wouldn't say that's like a primary. I think it's more like
I'm
him
happy to
finding
not.
his place and like
Okay.
finding his people. I don't know if it's like specifically a friendship movie,
No,
but
no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm happy to not do that one, and instead I'll do E.T. E.T.'s a friendship movie for
yeah,
sure.
that was also on my list. I was like between that and the Goonies. I feel like those are the two like from childhood that I definitely
Yeah,
feel like
nice. I'll do E.T.
remembering that like that was like a big like oh, that's just like the best
Oh
kind of
yeah.
friendship you can have. Um yeah, great,
Oh,
great.
I've got one. Sorry, continue. Please don't you fucking do it. Don't you do it.
I'm gonna take, I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time, and that's I Love You, Man. Come on, you knew that wasn't gonna
Yeah, I knew, but I
make
completely
it back
didn't
to you.
like pick it up until just then, and I was like,
That's
oh
my
fuck.
movie.
Yeah, well, hey, I give it 5 out of 5 as well. I think the
That's,
movie's
I,
fantastic.
and I think that's amazing. I respect that so much.
And I respect that so much.
You get it.
Bet you do, bet you do. Okay, how many am I
You
on?
can take Almost Famous if you want. I'm not gonna veto it.
No, because I understand what you mean. How many am I on? Is that this my fourth pick?
Mm-hmm.
I've got one that maybe I'll take, but can I take Thelma and Louise? Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
friendship. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll take Thelma and Louise.
Great movie. Um, I think one of the greatest friendship movies. I want to take Stand By Me, but I think I'm going to leave it off. I don't like drafting the movie that we talk about in drafts. I just feel
I
like it's
get
like a
you.
weird
Yeah, I'm
mental
with you
thing for
there.
me, even if it deserves to be there. Um, One of my favorite friendship movies is Toy Story 2.
Fuck you.
Were you going to take that?
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
But
no.
no, it's all right because I'll
That's my
take Dazed and
favorite Toy Story
Confused.
movie. Okay. Yeah, that's great.
But I was
I was
like,
trying to think of
in my
like
head, I was just like,
emotional.
oh, Toy Story is friendship. I'll take Toy Story 3. And then, yeah, well done.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 is my favorite, and I just love like the whole storyline with Jesse and
Yeah,
everything.
no.
But yeah, Daisy Confused is great. I thought about that one, but I was like, I've taken it so much, and I feel like it's like a hangout movie. I was like really wanted to go for like those like movies where like you just feel like the friendship is like the core of the film, you know?
Nah, for sure.
Um, okay, my last one I'm gonna take is Now and Then, obviously. I didn't think you'd take it, so I
No,
figured
no,
I'd save
well
it for the
done.
end. But that's like
Never seen
that
it.
is my female childhood. That is like the essential female friendship movie for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Harry took Superbad, Perks of Being a Wallflower, E.T., Thelma and Louise, and Dazed and Confused. And I took Lord of the Rings, Fellowship, The Goonies, I Love You Man, Toy Story 2, and Now and Then. Just
Beautiful.
absolute bangers of lists. So yeah, that is what we think of Stand By Me. Thank you for listening. Again, just an endless rest in peace to River Phoenix, to Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. And also Happy New Year. This is releasing as our first episode in 2026, which is wild. We've been podding. Harry and I have been doing Watchlist Book Club, thinking about the pod, starting a pod since 2023,
Yes.
right?
Sorry, I got my neighbors in the
I'm
hallway.
like trying,
Yes, yes.
okay, late 2022, maybe early
I think
2023
it's 2022
in the
because
works.
I was in my old apartment. I've been
Oh
here
my
for
God,
over
it's
2 years.
crazy. So yeah, we're going on, speaking of friendship, we're going on like into year 4, which is wild.
Yeah, we got to stop this soon.
Um, okay. He's trying to get rid of me. But yeah, thank you for listening. Let us know what you think of this film. And next time, please watch Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. Again, we're going to look the same when we talk about it because we're going to talk about it very soon.
Should have taken Project X.
Until next time, I'm Ash, that's Harry, and we will see you at the movies.
So yeah.